Today I'm covering 7 detailing tools that we use in our business that are roughly under, over, or kind of around the $30 mark. So I don't want to make a list of like these like $300, $400, $200. I wanted to keep things on like on a smaller scale for this video, and all the links to whatever I mentioned will be down below. This is the auto fiber microfiber applicator pad. This is our go-to option for ceramic coatings. Now over the years we've tried different ones, the suede with the block, the donut one, these types, and we always just end up going with these. Now these are the auto fiber microfiber applicator pads. We ordered another set from Amazon from a different brand, and I don't know what it was. It just, the way it was absorbing, the way it was spreading just wasn't the same, so we went back to order these. But again, there's multiple brands, there's multiple types of applicator pads. These are just the one that we end up going to. So with the other applicator pads, we use those for plastic dressing on the exterior and interior. And of course, after you use it for a ceramic coating, you do have to discard it. But these come in a pack of 5 on Car Supply's warehouse. It is, I believe, $11. And if you're only using these for ceramic coatings, well, obviously that kind of job, that kind of service is going to be a no-brainer for a ceramic coating. Now this is a rotary polisher, and what I want to focus on right now is using these extensions, these shafts here, because when you're using a rotary, and obviously the tool itself lends to being able to get in more intricate areas, on curves, on smaller areas. Now when there's panels where you can't reach, maybe it just helps, maybe underneath the mirror, maybe on a certain part of the bumper, it just helps to extend the pad from where the polisher normally sits to all the way up here. Now there's different sets, different brands that have these extensions. These here are from Griot's. This one here is from, I don't know, but you know, MacShine makes some, SPTA makes some, and there's varying packages, right? Maybe there's one that just sells like a single one, maybe there's a pack of 3, so you can find them between like, I think $20 to $35, just depending on which set you buy, what brand, and how many it comes with. But this is fantastic because if you do use a rotary, being able to extend or create distance between the polisher to what you're polishing makes a difference in specific areas. You don't need to have this when you have your 5-inch or 6-inch backing plate and you're polishing the door, right? That would not make sense. This is specifically for more intricate areas. So this typically is only used on our 3-inch, just because if we're gonna go with a smaller size, it's probably for more intricate work. So maybe around the door handle, under the mirror, on the front bumper, on a very small ABC pillar, maybe on the back of the tailgate, around the emblems, around the license plate area. Every car will be unique in its own way, so these are very helpful. Again, you can find these on Amazon or on Griot's. Now for us, we have these different ones. We have a few more in the shelf here, but we typically just keep this 70mm extension on. Like, here's another one that I have a 50 mil. And it's like, what's the difference of using this one? Like, what's the difference between using this one when like, this one will still get the job done? So, I would say if you can buy a single one, maybe the longest one. Again, for us, we haven't really found a need to really go shorter if this one gets the job done, but maybe in your specific situation, depending on the cars you work on, it does make sense. So the price will range. If you just want to buy the whole set just to have them, that'll also work, but we're primarily just going with this single 70mm from Griot's. For interior cleaning, and this is gonna sound funny, but these two tools do a lot of what a steamer does. Now this is called a bone spatula. This one's called a carpet shark, I believe. I'll have them linked down below. This one's $8. This one, I think like $12, $15. And the reason why I say it does a lot of what a steamer would is because we use this whenever there's anything like gum, any crust, anything dry on fabric material, like carpeting, floor mats, carpet seats. This will remove it. Like a lot of times if there's something stuck, like something crusty on the carpet that's like you can't really pull off with your hand, or maybe it's gum, we often go to the steamer, right? But this tool specifically, these two, remove them, no problem. And a lot of times where if we have the steamer available and it's like right there, I'll pick it up and use it. If it's not, like if we're not using the steamer at all in the interior, which more and more now, like we really don't, like even right now with a disgusting interior that we have in 105, we don't have the steamer turned on. I'll just grab this and it works perfectly fine. So this one here has two, it has this flats, oh, it has three. This picking one to pick, same way as this one has to pick. As you can tell, we actually use it because it's a little worn down. You use this to pick at it. You can use this to, let's see. You can use this to not agitate, but kind of, I don't know what you would call it, but kind of scrape it off. See the, I'm sorry, see the ridges right there? You use this to scrape it off or to knock it off. And then you have a flat side here. Let me do it again. You have a flat side on both of them. And you kind of scrape off. So we're not using this on leather or plastic surfaces. This is primarily for fabric material. But I'm telling you, when we don't have the steamer and I grab this and I scrape something off, I'm like, man, that was so fast, so much more convenient than like heating up the steamer, grabbing it, getting it to that specific spot in the interior, getting in the way of everyone else. So these, highly recommend you have at least one in your arsenal for interior cleaning. These are the Detail Factory brushes, and these are some of my favorite brushes to use. And we've gone through a lot of them through Work Stuff, Detail Factory, the cheaper brands on Amazon where you get like $15 for a whole set. But these are some of my favorite. And the reason why I'm pointing these out is just because we kind of just recently purchased these, and I've already made videos with the Work Stuff brushes, which are also fantastic brushes. But these are definitely some of my favorite. Now, what I do, Lex ordered these, but what I typically do to separate these two for interior cleaning, obviously, like you wouldn't use this for like agitation on the exterior for like the emblems. These are too aggressive. They have softer ones, but these are too aggressive. What I like to do to separate the brushes, because I always use two brushes when I'm doing plastic or cleaning the interior, and I dedicate one brush for actually cleaning and the other brush for drying. So for instance, when you spray a door brush, a door panel, and you agitate, right, I'll use one brush to do the actual heavy lifting and the agitation. I'll wipe it down or blow it out with air, and then I'll come back with a second brush, the dry brush, to make sure I got all of the liquid out of the tight area. So for me to keep things simple, I would order one large one like this one, and then I would order a short one. That way I can always say the short one is the dry brush and the longer brush is the agitation brush. Just because over time, like I'd want to keep these bristles separate. That way, like I specifically deteriorate one. Like I dedicate to one brush getting deteriorated faster. That way one lasts longer. Instead of like, you know, this brush gets used and then this brush gets used and they both kind of start going out. Versus I can prolong one's life much longer because I'm not heavily agitating with it. I'm just like lightly brushing it to get the liquid out. Versus another one, like the bristles will start to flare out, some will start to fall, it will start to get ugly because I'm dedicating it to just agitation. Now again, there's a lot of brushes on the market. Detail Factory and Work Stuff make some of the best brushes that probably the detailing industry has, but you kind of want to highlight these specifically. This is the Work Stuff wheel cleaning mitt, and the main reason why I like this is simply due to its size. Now to clean your wheels, you can grab a towel, you can grab just maybe an old wash mitt, but typically the size on those just aren't really, if you're cleaning a wheel with minimal spokes that you're able to fit your hand in there, that might work. But this one, you're able to kind of, if you're wearing gloves, I'm not wearing gloves right now, but you're able to get either behind the spoke, clean the wheel face. It just, the size itself makes it very convenient, and they hold up very well. Like I think we've had these now for like 2 years. We use them quite frequently. We don't always clean them out, so they stay kind of dirty, and they've been holding up very well. Again, if you have an old any microfiber towel, you can do the same thing. It's just annoying when you're cleaning the wheel and then the towel, like the bottom part of the towel touches the ground, and then there might be dirt or rocks or grit, and then you're like, oh, I don't want to use this towel. This size here, you can fold it to, you know, make it, if you're mobile and you have limited storage, like it takes up no space. So this one is very, very handy. We have 2 of these, each one in the bucket, and it just works out very well. This is the Auto Scrub Ninja. Now I've made a lot of videos on this one already, but I always gotta highlight it because if you're cleaning plastics and leather and you're using just a regular brush, you're gonna be moving a lot slower. Get you one of these, or there's even a larger one, but this is the one that we use to clean door panels. If we are cleaning larger seats, I'll just use the yellow one, the much bigger one. but we are heavy users of these. We have a lot in as backups or extra ones, because whenever we run through one, we throw it away, grab the other one. These are absolutely handy, and they'll speed up your interior cleaning process, because if you're using a small brush to do all the agitation, you are objectively moving a lot slower than just grabbing this pad and scrubbing very lightly, wiping it down, and then moving to the next section. So won't talk about it too long. These are some of my favorite scrub pads. This is the MTM wand tip. Now, I'm not specifically talking about this one specifically, but more so of the idea of it. So I don't know, you might find some for like $25, $20, $14, depending on the size of it or what brand you get. So these specifically, is why I like them is because you have this protection around it. So mistakes happen when you're pressure washing, when you're working on a large truck and you're on a workbench, on a ladder, or maybe whatever. Sometimes just mistakes happen, and you might put it's never happened to us because we're very cautious of it. But mistakes do happen, and maybe you put the pressure washer wand a little too close to the paint and it kind of taps it a little bit. Or maybe, this happened to us a few times and luckily we did not hit the car, is maybe you think you put the tip all the way into, you put the tip all the way into the wand, and when you go to pull the trigger, since it's not fully secure, it shoots out like a projectile, and if it's pointed towards the car or pointed towards the glass, there is a big likelihood, for sure on the paint, like at a door, you are going to dent, scrape, and peel off that paint if you don't have the tip fully secured. Now again, we don't use this literally every single time. It's more so I'm letting you know, it is heavily used though, but I'm letting you guys know that if that's something that you've gone through and maybe you have employees, or maybe you want to say, fail-proof some things, using something like this will greatly decrease your chance of like damaging something. Now we have quite a few tips between different angles, like we have quite a few, but we do use this one. For us specifically, we have this on a dedicated extension wand. That way, whenever we need to have more of a longer reach, we'll have this one on there. One, just because we want to have a set extension, so we just grab that and then put it on the pressure washer. But then two, when we use the extension, it's probably if we're maybe doing a large truck and we need to like get to the middle of the roof. Maybe we're cleaning some large wheels, or maybe some wheels that are really bad and we're using acid and we kind of want to step away a bit from the wheel. We'll have that extended, and because we are extended and because we are kind of reaching a bit more, it is good to have this tip on that extension on that wand. That way, if maybe for some reason we slip a little, whatever, we're not going to damage anything at all, because it's just hard rubber and nothing will happen to the paint. But that's going to wrap up this video. Let me know what you think. If you have any other tools that you'd recommend, comment that down below and I'll talk to you on the next one.